Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a throwback edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother, Wildman Teddy T, a.k.a. Baron the Mound Builder,
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's Throwback Thursday, and we are here.
to throw it back. And then backing us up as always, man, my man on the ones and twos, technically speaking, is Brother DJ Newkirk. What's good, sir?
What's up, my brother? Trying to get you right.
There we go, man. So, did you miss me? Did you miss me just a little bit?
Yeah,
Did
man.
you miss me just a little bit?
So much going on.
Bruh, let me tell you, man.
I had to check out your Instagram, man, and check you out. Saw your barbecuing and everything, man. Make sure you was good.
Bruh, what ended up happening, man, apparently, some of the things that I was barbecuing did not agree with my system. And
Oh no.
I had to go to the emergency room Tuesday morning, early Tuesday morning. So I grilled on Monday, Labor Day. It was all good, but it was just a little. I started getting this little tingle on the right side of my foot, and I just man through it. You know how we do. I just powered through it, did what I needed to do. But by the end of the night, and let's just say after probably about 4 or 5 cold libations, and my man bought a nice whiskey and some things off the grill, they didn't agree so well. Bruh, Tuesday I was in such pain. Tuesday when I came up, bruh, I could not walk. I could not get out of the bed. Literally, I could not get out of the bed, bruh. I couldn't get out of the bed.
Oh, you just sick like that?
No, it was the so I go to the doctor, and the doctor, they take x-rays, on my knee, bro. I'm thinking like I done tore ACL or I done stressed some ligaments or whatever, but there wasn't anything that I could point to. And unfortunately, the x-rays were negative.
Thank God.
But there was intense swelling, inflammation, which, I got to go to my primary still.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just to go get further confirmation. But from all indications, and then having another conversation with Dr. T, Dr. George Tabby, I spoke with him afterwards, got a little bit of advice from him, and spoke to just a couple other people, include my big brother. And he just kind of said, every 10 years, just expect something to just start shutting down on you, bruh. He's like, every 10 years, just expect something to start shutting down on you, bruh.
No.
Just like that. You just wake up, man, and all of a sudden, your windshield cracked. You just wake up one day, and your car, you just broke down on the side of the road, bruh. So it's either gout or arthritis, bruh.
Oh no.
So I was given a Proxen or something, and a knee stabilizer, and told to rest it for 2 days. And I can say, y'all see me, man. I can, I can do all that. I can, you know what I'm saying?
Get back in the game.
I can get back.
Might be ready for Game 7.
You feel me? I feel like, I'm up. I can do all those things again, bruh. But, wow, bruh. I feel great. I look great. You know what I'm saying? I've been, doing my thing, as y'all know, when the big 5-0 comes in November, I've been on the plan for a year. So, I'm down 20 pounds. I ain't even get with Willie yet. I'm supposed to get with Willie. I'm supposed to get with Willie when we coming in for the landing, because Willie already said how we stepping in for the 50. Y'all saw my Instagram with the Zoes doing their thing, with the cowboy buckles.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I'm just getting y'all ready.
Uh-oh.
I'm just getting them ready, bro. How we coming in? Willie said no shirts. Willie said no shirt for your birthday. Me, Willie, and Flo, we coming in into the spot. You know what I mean? Straight up Chippendales, mail review, the whole nine, bro. We coming in. So, you know, that's what I've been on, bro. I've been on that. And, you know, and there you go. It's like, you know, I got to do better. I just got to do better. You know, less red meat, which I haven't been eating a lot of red meat, man. But I did have some oxtails the other day. I ain't going to lie. I had some oxtails the other day, and I grilled some pork chops Monday and some ribs. So I had pork chops and ribs, a lot of alcohol. Basically, all the stuff I was telling the doctor no. All the stuff I was telling the doctor.
All the stuff. Yeah, just had an intake.
Us men, we ain't nothing when it comes down to telling your business about your body.
Every question the doctor's asked is like, you a smoker? Nope. Any alcohol lately? Not a drop. Not a drop. 991. Any red meat? Nope.
You know what? And what scares me about that is I wonder, like, say something do happen to you, and then they like the insurance company or go back and check your records or check the doctor's notes.
But that ain't
Can they
in
do
your.
that?
That ain't in your. That's on the front side, brother. On the front side, you got to put that in, and they don't trust what you say. Right. They send them people in there and take that blood, and then after they take that blood work. Then that's when they tell you what they're gonna write your policy for. Once you in that policy, it's whatever.
Oh, it's whatever as long as you're in the policy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's whatever. It's whatever.
I went to the doctor last Thursday, and I got to go back. I got to do my blood work, and I told him when I was trying to pick up my mom, my back popped, and my left leg, my calf, and my side, it just started hurting. I couldn't run for a week. Then finally, I've been able to start running, but I still got a little faint. So he said he wanted to take some x-rays. So I got to do my blood work, x-rays. But the other day, Nick Solano, he gave me some wine. And I forgot the name of it, but it was incredible. Like, my leg totally just stopped hurting after I drank a couple glasses of wine. And I got another bottle. I'm incorporating that because it's blood thinner. You know, there's certain wines that just do certain healthy things for you. And I know that definitely help me out. And
yeah, man, let me know about that one, bro, so I can add that to the bar.
Too. Yeah.
Add that to the arsenal, bro.
Was that bottle you had with you?
Yes,
you know,
that's what I was drinking.
I should have drunk some of that.
That's what I was drinking.
You know, I really stopped drinking the beers, man, and I've been limiting because, you know, the beer is the quickest weight gain you can. So what I've been doing is doing like one beer, but limiting to one beer, bro. But y'all know how it goes, man. I started Monday early. I had them Modelo's and Land Sharks in the freezer, and I pulled them out, bro. By the time, you know, you just went to quench your thirst, it was like all half done. And I still had like an hour and a half, 2 hours left on the grill, bro. So next thing you know, my homeboy, he came through, and my homeboy came through with the whiskey, and you know, there we go. But enough of that, man. It's a lot going on, man. I appreciate it, man. Shout out to my Deuce, man, the glue of the S20. You know, KP, man, just celebrated. We stopped counting, man. But you know, definitely wishing a happy birthday to the Deuce, man. We got to get some inner city, some big fun. You know, he like that Chicago house, even though he's from Columbus, Georgia, but he like that house music, man. So we're going to play some of that for our Deuce, man. Some of that big fun, you know, a good life, you know, whatever you have going on. We're going to start off, man. We're going to take it around. This is the Ask Mathis show on Strong Arm Radio. I'm your host, Reginald Mathis, man, and I'm feeling like $1,000, bro, after sitting, you know, just being in the bed for 2 days, bro. You know, wondering, like, damn, is it going to be normal? Am I going to be able to walk again? You know, I'm like, bro, all these crazy thoughts just going through my mind, bro. Like, man, bro, I am so thankful. I am so thankful. And tonight, if y'all thinking things is getting better with this basketball NBA playoffs tonight. Not only do we have NFL real season, regular season football, no preseason. Tonight is the first game kickoff. Kansas City, Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs at home against I don't even remember.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, but
The Texans.
and the Houston Texans. Thank you, because I guess everybody just waiting on Mahomes to just come out there and do his thing. But also, for us, Miami people, Miami Hurricanes play tonight against University Alabama, Birmingham at Hard Rock. You can go to the stadium. They are limited to 13,000 fans, so you can go to the stadium.
Oh, word.
If you, it's at the Hard Rock tonight, and there will be 16,800 fans potentially in Kansas City. There are two teams that will be allowed to have fans in week one. That's the Kansas City, and that's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And if you want to say, well, why Jacksonville, why KC? The NFL is like, they leaving it up to the mayors, and the mayors, have to get approval from the governors. So y'all know Ron DeSantis here in the state of Florida.
He don't care.
He don't care. he like,
that
please
money.
go. Ron DeSantis was a baseball player, so and he won a state championship in high school. Shout out, he was an athlete, and he parlayed that into at Yale he played college baseball. So I'm definitely gonna give him his props, man. But then since we on that subject, man, Ron DeSantis has created a little stir by appointing this sister to the Supreme Court in the state of Florida, and she is not legally eligible for the position. To be eligible under Article 5, Section 8 of the Florida Constitution, one must be a member of the Florida Bar for a minimum of 10 years. And she will not be a 10-year member of the Florida Bar until September 24th. So her appointment way back in March was challenged by a state legislature who happens to be a sister, Ms. Thompson, who has been advocating to have more diversity since Supreme Court, the only black Supreme Court justice that we had in the state of Florida retired, and that was Peggy Quince. Justice Peggy Quince. So she retired, so there was a lot of pressure to, keep that diversity on the bench. So, some of my good friends and brothers, man, is really, really split on this issue. I'm not split on it at all, bro, because, when you walking in the courtrooms and you dealing with a 3-year minimum mandatory or a 15-year minimum mandatory, and these judges are sitting up there talking about, well, if you lose, your client got to take these 3 years, or your client got to take these 15 years. But when it comes to their appointment, they're saying that, she's going to be in a few
months.
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
The law is the law. And if you start circumventing the law, where does it stop? And then you're talking about appointing somebody to the highest court in the state of Florida illegally. So what does that mean for the rule of law? That means that, well, depending on who you know, then the laws don't necessarily apply to you. Like, don't we have enough of that? Isn't that what we talk about every day? Isn't that what we talk about when we say things like stop moving the goalposts? Stop moving the goalposts. Like, if it's gonna be this way, let it be that way. He should appoint her after the 24th. Hold up the seat until the 24th. Appoint her on the 24th. She's on maternity leave right now. But to come in there and use this whole Caribbean versus African American divisive thing that's going on,
exactly
like folks are seeing that, oh, you know what, you can divide the folks even more. Folks who are saying that, oh, let's just alienate all the African Americans. Let's alienate the African Americans, and let's just, cater to whoever it may be, because there's one thing about immigrants, as we say all the time, the most educated immigrants in the U.S. are from Nigeria. Believe it or not, they are from Nigeria. They are the most educated immigrants that we have in the country. So you have some people who can come in there and say, President Trump got something going on in Florida. He got something working in Florida, because how is it that although Hispanics by and large support the Democrats or support Joe Biden everywhere except for Florida? And the first thing is to say, oh, well, the Cubans have always supported the Republicans. Ever since the Bay of Pigs and John F. Kennedy, they've always supported, because the Bay of Pigs failure is what solidified Fidel Castro's power in Cuba. And so, a lot of the Cubans who came to the United States were the landowners, were the aristocrats, were the ones who had a little more money and had land and property that Fidel Castro seized. And a lot of the people who ended up benefiting are the black Cubans that stayed and remained in Cuba. So, a lot of people say that it's easier for the Cubans to assimilate and become more like Caucasians here in Florida and in Miami in particular, where you have power and you have control of the government. They got billions of dollars that's flowing in. They like everybody else, similar to black people in Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like, just keep it real and keep it 1,000. When you start to make it an economic issue, and then you can come in and say, hey, why does Broward have such a diverse community in Broward? Broward has the most educated African Americans or people from the African diaspora in Broward County. Not in Dade, in Broward County. So, folks, somebody came in, I say a diabolical person came in and was like, hey, man, don't just count black people monolithic, which is what Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, was doing. Joe Biden came out there and was basically like, oh, you know which way the black people are going to go, but the Hispanics are so diverse that he don't even, know how to get in and understand that. Not understanding that if you come in there with the same precision, you'll see that you find an uppity, stuck-up Haitian that who will treat you worse than a white Klansman. You know what I'm saying? You will find a stuck-up Elizabethan Jamaican who will treat you worse, than a skinhead, minus the violence. They don't want to be around you. They think you lazy. They bought in the same stereotypes. They bought into the same stereotypes that are being projected by Hollywood all over the world. And when they come and choose to come to the country, it's already built in. And that goes for any immigrant. It's already built in. When in Rome, do as the Romans. If I'm going to go and live in another country, if we decide right now we're going to go and live in Ghana, we're not going to be on the streets running around there protesting.
No.
If we go to Ghana,
No.
we're going to be in Ghana trying to get in where we fit in.
That's right.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get us a house. We're going to try to get us a job. We're going to try to stay alive is what we're going to do, because Hollywood has projected that if you get a little something, these folks going to just come in and take your stuff. They're going to kidnap you like they in Nigeria when they came in and kidnapped the ladies. So people just got to understand that it's chess and it's not checkers. And folks got to understand like what this thing is about. And that is where taking it to the logical conclusion. And I said all that to say that the Judge Francis, who was nominated by Governor DeSantis, she was the head of a trucking company in Jamaica. She came to the U.S. You know, her story, she has a great story. But she came to the United States later in life. She's a naturalized citizen, and she's a judge out of Palm Beach. So why is the mayor of Miramar, my frat brother, who I love dearly, why is he standing there with Governor DeSantis advocating for her? Why is he being a co-conspirator with the governor on why they should break the law to appoint this young lady, right? So my thing is, dear brother, you got to understand how this thing is playing out. Where are the Palm Beach leaders where she's from standing with her? Why are you standing with her? And if it's, and let me know. Let me know, because I'm going to tell it how I see it. And I know what the law is, and I know what the law says, and I'm going to tell her how I see it. And I know Governor DeSantis has not been a friend to our community. He has not been a friend to our community. So why is he going to appoint somebody? Right. Why is he going to appoint somebody, a controversial pick that's against the law? Why is he going to do that? Is he doing that to help us? Or is he doing that to help himself? Or is he doing that to alienate her on the bench, to be on the highest court in the state of Florida with an asterisk next to her name while she's in there? Does that mean she's going to be beholden to him? Like, what does that mean? And I'm on a total different side of this, because in 1992, I was on the side of appointing Clarence Thomas. I was a student my senior year at Morehouse College when George H.W. Bush appointed Clarence Thomas to the Supreme Court. And I'm saying that, hey, it is the duty, it is the constitutional right of a president to nominate Supreme Court justices. So if you have a conservative in the White House, who do you think he's going to appoint? He's going to appoint another conservative. So I'm thinking, well, Clarence Thomas is a product of affirmative action. His sister's on welfare. So the fact that he got a job for life, of course, he's going to be in there saying, okay, now I done broke this chain. Now I'm going to be, and do the right thing. But he hasn't done that. In 30 years, this man has been on every decision against black people that there has been. Every decision, 5-4. When you talk about the 2000 election, the 5-4 decision that decided to put George W. Bush in the White House against Al Gore, 5-4. Clarence Thomas was in the 5. You know what I'm saying? So as somebody who practices in the state and federal courts in the state of Florida, I'm just telling you, and most of the black attorneys are coming out and they saying like, no, it's something fishy here. There's something fishy going on. And I'm going to keep y'all posted on that, because we keep it 1,000 here, bro. So, we tell it like it is. Somebody can tell me something that I don't know about. I'll gladly come back and say, oh, I didn't know. But what I do know, that's a bad precedent to be trying to set. That is not a good precedent. That is not a good look. And to come in there and think that there's no qualified black attorneys and black judges in the state of Florida, that is BS. You got Judge Taretha Lundy Thomas, just retired 25 years. Went to Brown and University of Chicago. But please. You got Only Nikkei Adebayo, practicing over 20 years. You had Sherlon McQuarter. You had a lot of qualified black judges over 10 years. So don't come in here like, oh, there's a scarcity of black judges. Or there's a scarcity of black people in the state of, that is BS. And there's more to it. And I'm not going to sit here and just fall for the okie doke. They can, but I'm not going to do it. Tell me something that I don't know, and I'll gladly share it. And you know, before we get to this later story, man, 2 suspects arrested, charged with the murder of 7-year-old Elena Washington. That's a story that we've been talking about. You know, this violence that's just going on. Elena Washington, 7 years old, man, killed during a drive-by shooting in Brownsville. Brownsville is a community in Miami, and I saw in the news the arrest of these 2 individuals, Antonio Robinson, 22, and Jarvis Baker Flanders, 23, taken into custody Wednesday morning, questioned and charged. Both confessed to their roles in the drive-by shooting. Robinson was booked at TGK on Wednesday. Baker's Flanders was arrested in Georgia. So Baker's Flanders went to Georgia. So hopefully Baker's Flanders got his last, shot on in Georgia, because everybody was in Georgia, because Georgia was like the only place that was wide open, bro. Mm-hmm. And I concur with my good friend Tiffany. My good friend Tiffany was like, anybody that just went to Georgia this past Labor Day weekend, do not see me for the next 15 days. Mm-hmm. Do not see me for the next 15 days, because I ain't see any kind of social distancing, any kind of mask. I just saw a whole lot of shaking going on. That's what I saw. So, I mean, another tragedy, young person. Last time we was talking about the 6-year-old King Carter. Mm-hmm. 6 years old at the time, gunned down with the $3 in his hand that his father had given him to go to the store, which is, I'm not about to touch that. I'm not about to ask why a 6-year-old was going to the store by himself, but everybody has a right to be safe in their own communities and in their own neighborhood. So, speaking of the school thing, man, so 2:00 this morning, the school board voted to discharge the K through 12, which was the company that we were using for the schools, man. We got off to such a dreadful start, and everybody's saying, like, why would they be so unprepared? Like, how could a 16-year-old be responsible for shutting this whole system down? Like, what kind of test did y'all run? Y'all had since March to get this thing right. What happened? So I guess, everybody's looking for somebody to blame, and people that, getting it first. Now, I bet when you dig deeper into it, K-12, they not saying nothing. Why is that, Teddy T? Because they probably getting all their bread.
That's it.
They probably getting all their bread, or they getting, they probably got something where it's like, okay. Next. Right now they all out there, and now they just going to Zoom.
They weren't using the same platform as Broward.
I think Broward's using Zoom.
Yeah, no, they're using
using
some type of Microsoft.
Okay, they're using a Microsoft. Some people using a Microsoft and Dade too.
Teams to communicate with the teacher.
Okay, so I know that they're just using Zoom right now, bro. But this is, oh man, I don't want to say it's a lost year, but 2020, bro, 2020, definitely the memes got to be Mad Dog 2020, got to make a comeback. Is this the kind of, I'm getting flashbacks, bro, to the Mad Dog 2020 days. Cause this thing, bro, right here is nuts. So. Now, can we talk about, this man for a second? The new book by Roger Woodward. Now, do y'all know Roger Woodward? Y'all know who that is?
No,
okay. So Bob Woodward, that is the same guy from Woodward and Bernstein. Have you ever heard the name Woodward and Bernstein? So Woodward and Bernstein, they're the reporters that broke Watergate.
Wow.
So why would you have 18 phone calls? Why would you have 18 recorded phone calls with the dude that broke Watergate after he's already written a book called Fear. Now, he already wrote a book during your administration called Fear, which basically, just totally undermine or question what you was doing and your competency and all these particular things. He wrote that book. So because that book came out, what the reporting is saying is that the president was upset that this book came out, and since this book came out and he did not sit with Bob Woodward for an interview, that he thought no. He thought that since he didn't sit with him on the first book, and then you got all these other books coming out that just show all the crazy stuff between his niece, his lawyer, his, you name it. So somebody got a book. Somebody got a book coming out. I was in the room, John Bolton, National Security Advisor. You got all these people. So the president, in his mind, said, you know what? I will have a conversation. I'm going to talk to Bob. And I'm going to get my story across to Bob, and then Bob is going to write a book that's going to make me look good. That's what he thought, bruh. Really? That's what he thought. He thought Bob Woodward ain't never make nobody look good. Never. Even when President Obama was in there, Bob Woodward did not have stellar reviews of President Obama. Bob Woodward is that guy. He reminds me of, I had a professor in law school, Dr. Stotsky. Dr. Stotsky taught a course called Elements. And in Elements, it's just people who like to just hear themselves talk and just want to argue and question everything that you say and everything that you do. And they would take the contrary. Is the converse true? They're just, they trying to get you used to arguing. They're trying to get you to take different positions and see the different sides. But Bob Woodward has never been anybody's friend. So I'm listening to the man on the phone, and he calling this guy like all different times of the night, in the morning, with no clearance, with nobody coming in like, hold on, what are the topics we want to talk about today? Right. No, the president just calling this man whenever he feel like it. Like, what you doing? Like sending him WYDs. What you doing? What you doing?
It's funny because when you listen to him, he's like, yeah, man, the coronavirus was it's terrible, and it's gonna really, do a lot of stuff, but we can't let the people know. We can't let the American people know because they're gonna panic. So we're not gonna. I'm like, this dude is literally telling this guy this information.
Mm-hmm. Top secret information.
Like, this man telling him. He's telling him, bro. He telling stuff like, man, I got a weapon, dog. I got a weapon. It's a whole new nuclear system, bruh. It's gonna change the whole world, dog. It's gonna change the whole world, dog. Well, I'm trying to tell you, I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, dude, talking to this man, they're talking to him like, dog, boy. You know what that song in church was? I swear I wasn't gonna tell nobody, but I just couldn't keep it to myself. Mm-hmm. That was who Bob was. He on the phone. Bob, what's up, Bob? What you doing right now? He's like, Bob, hey man, I'm having a cup of tea. You know what I mean? I'm having a cup of tea here in Connecticut. You know what I mean? Doing whatever. He's like, guess where I am, Bob? Where you at? I'm about to go to the situation room, dog. What you gonna do in the situation, dog? I'm about to kill some people. I'm about to kill me some terrorist people. I'm about to kill me some. I got this new ray gun, and it's about to come in there. And Bob was just like, oh wow, man. And what are you people gonna say about that next? He's like, oh man, they're gonna love it, and they're gonna love me, right? And Bob just talked to him like a psychiatrist, like, oh yeah, man. So he told on himself, bro. He told on himself on tape about everything that he owned. Like everything that he's on. And Bob, he's so, you know what I mean? He was talking about white privilege. So Bob talking to him, Bob is like, look, man, are you gonna admit, Mr. President, that just like I know your background, my background. My father was a lawyer and a judge back in Illinois, and we've lived in this so-called cave. And we gotta understand that everybody hasn't had it like us. It's just, and I know we can't, curse or whatever, but I just think about the Mac, and I think about Dr. Dre in the Chronic when they sitting in the park and that breakdown, doon 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 doon. Yeah, until we can get it together, get rid of all the pimps and the brother and all that, whatever. And Goldie said,
crazy.
"Is you crazy?" That's what I think of when I hear what the president said. Man, is you crazy? You done drunk the Kool-Aid. That's what, and that's a quote, bruh. That's a quote. The president said, "Oh, Bob, I said, you done drunk the Kool-Aid, man. I'm not buying none of that. I ain't buying none of that." Man, we got a straight gangster. We got a gangster in the White House. As Teddy calls it, we got our first ninja in the White House, bro.
Real.
And then you talk about, Michael Cohen, his book, his lawyer's book, where Michael Cohen know where all the bodies are buried. When he got on Barack Obama, you know what Michael Cohen said, DJ Newkirk?
What did he say, sir?
He said, you know why he hates Barack Obama? Because he's everything that he's not.
Right.
He said, number one, he's black. Number two, he's smart. He went to Harvard. And he was top of his class at Harvard. And you know what he says? He's not so smart.
Barack Hussein.
He said he's not so smart. He not so smart. And then you know he hating when he comes and says this, Teddy T. And I don't think he speaks that well. Bruh.
That's
the last thing. Even his enemies, even Barack Obama's enemies was just like his oratory. It was like, it's just like, oh, he comes with the elevating oratory and he just speaks, but what does he do? So this man coming in, he don't even speak. The man who can't speak at all coming there and talk. That's like Magic Johnson talking about Brian Gumble. Tell me, I don't know what they talk about Brian Gumble. Huh? Hold on, Magic. Magic, are you saying something about Brian Gumble? Really? Like, come on, bro. Let's not do that, and let's not go there. But it's right there. This man hates this. This man hates President Obama because he's everything that he's not. And you probably know he got the records. You know he got the records, and you know he probably like President Obama packing. You know what I'm saying? Stormy Daniels already told him he rocking with the mushroom. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, President Obama from Kenya.
You better believe it.
He from Kenya, boy. He from Kenya, man. So he probably, you know what I mean? He probably, anyway, let me go. I like to call him Barack Hussein, but I just don't do that in his face. Because, man, President probably slap. I can see Barack Obama doing him like Dr. Spock. Like he wouldn't do so. He just put that little, like a little squeeze grip. He just out there like, just go sit down, Donald. Go sit down, Donald. Go sit down, Donald. So, now that's what's up, man. But what's unfortunate is that with all this stuff going on, with all this information, the election is still gonna be decided by 1 or 2%, bro. And that's the thing, man. It's like, is it that people are just tuning out? They don't care. They figure like, this is our land. We done took it over. We done stole it. And we have a right to keep it the way we want to keep it. Like, if that's the case, Teddy, I'm like, then let it be what it is. I'm Snoop Dogg at the Source Awards. Y'all don't got no love for us? We know where we at. We over here. Then let it be known. Let it be known. Let it be known. Like, just let it be known. Like, let's stop playing the games. Just come out and be like, yo, we want this area for these people. We want this area for these people. But when you just come in there and you just like let it happen, how it happened, what it happened, and then when you have people who go to school that have the right to go to school or read books that self-educate and find out about who they are or who we are as individuals, and you start looking at it and you say, well, wait. This is not about just pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. It's not about that. This thing is a system that it's not by accident. This thing is not by accident. You know, I'm sure kids that were born in the Poke and Beans or in, you know, Grace Apartments or in Cabrini Green or in Watts or in Harlem
What are all those
come
spots?
in there and say, like, Mama, like, why we stay here and why all these people that look like us stay here, but I'm looking on TV and they stay there and they got green grass and yards and pools and they got all that. What is it? What's up with that?
It's because we in a project.
You know,
Self-explanatory. It's a project.
There's something called redlining. And you know who was complicit in redlining? Not only was it the lending institutions and the banks, but it was the realtors. It was the realtors and the homeowners associations who colluded, and people who had the money and had the, you know, all those things were not allowed to buy in these places, or they were directed and steered to go towards other areas. Other areas. Like, these things were not like, oh, you just come in here and you pull up here and you go and stay there. Nah, that stuff did not happen by accident. And you start talking about, well, the disparity in the schools. Why do you have the disparity in the schools? Because the schools, even though they're public schools, but many of their resources come by the taxes, the property taxes. So if you down in the village of Pinecrest, the schools down in the village of Pinecrest, the schools in Aventura, the schools in Sunny Isles are going to be better. They're going to be better. They're going to be resourced better. They're going to have the better teachers. You're going to get more teachers of the year coming because you're going to have more scholars. You're going to have more 14, 15, 1600 SAT folks from your high school that are going to be coming from there. And then when you say you're going to incentivize teachers for students who do well, so if the teachers' salaries are based on the performance, is a teacher who got skills going to want to go to the inner city where I taught school for 1 year before I went to law school, bro, and I had a resource class, K through 5. I got kids, man, that's in there this close from being in diapers. You know what I'm saying? Like being in diapers, and by the time you make it to elementary school, you supposed to be very potty trained very understood, knowing how to say your name. They giving me instructions like, how do I teach this kid? What do I do? They just saying, give him clay, write his name, write his name and give him clay and let him form the letters. And as long as he keep quiet, you leave him alone. I got all these kids in one class, K through 5. I got no training, bro. I'm studying to take the LSAT. You know what I'm saying? Put me in a class with K through 5, bro. K through 5 with no education training. And it just basically, you just keep them from killing each other. Keep them killing themselves. And then kids can't talk, they can't write their names and all this other stuff. So you telling me if my salary is conditioned, am I gonna want to be here, or am I gonna want to come over here to one of these, schools with highly motivated
in the suburbs,
students in the suburbs that just need a little push, need a little help? Because then what they do is they go and take the best kids from the inner cities and put them in those urban schools through magnet programs or what have you, And so you done raped and harvested, the best kids, and you shipping them an hour away from where they supposed to go to school so they can excel. We got all these things going on, and then a president sitting there talking about Woodward saying, man, you drinking the Kool-Aid. There ain't no problems. There ain't no problems with nothing. Eventually, it's all going to work itself out, which I guess is what it is. But at the same time, and then here's another whistleblower complaint from the Health and Human Services, not Health and Human Services, but Homeland Security whistleblower, basically saying that when President Obama left office, the number one threat to America was not Al-Qaeda, was not ISIS, but was domestic terrorism led by white supremacists. Soon as this man came into office, he defunded and de-emphasized with Jeff Sessions the whole unit that they had on dealing with white supremacy and white supremacists. And the whistleblower from Homeland Security just came out in his whistleblower complaint saying that they told him, Wolf, the acting, and the guy who ran against Hillary Clinton, Ken Cuccinelli, ran against Hillary Clinton for Senate when she won the Senate in New York. He used to be the Attorney General in New York. Now he's the deputy, so he's a highly political dude. Ken Cuccinelli and Wolf, the acting Homeland Security, was like de-emphasize the reports on white supremacists and their terrorists and focus instead on Antifa. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, Acorn, other progressive, left-leaning organization, anarchist organizations that's going on. So we're sitting here watching our institutions right before our eyes, like we got a window seat to what's going on, and people just sitting there looking at it. They just sitting there looking at it, and then when it trickles into their own little lives, like I'm watching the governor appoint somebody against the law, break the law in our face. The governor comes and breaks the law in the whole world's face. Do you understand, as a former prosecutor, how many times I had to stand in front of a jury and picking a jury and have a conversation with the jury that in order for you to serve on this jury, you may not like the law, but if you serve on this jury, you have to agree to follow the law. You have to agree to follow the law. And if you do not like the law, now's the time to let us know. We can't end up picking you as this juror, and then you get back here and I've proven my case beyond it to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt, but you in the back saying like, man, but what's going to happen to him? Like, we have specific jury instructions where you have to tell the jurors, like, your sole job is to determine the facts of this case and whether or not the facts lend themselves to the elements of the offense. Do not worry about sentencing. Do not worry about what's going to happen to this guy if he's found guilty. That is not your job. That is the job of the judge. That is not your job. So we sit here and ask these people that come in, that give up their time, that got to find childcare, that leave their jobs, responsibility, leave their classrooms, leave their patients, come down there and say you must follow the law. But then at the same time, when it comes to the higher-ups, well, who needs to follow the law anyway? Like, laws are made to be broken. Do we not understand how this is how our entire system collapsed when you start doing that? Once you start having these exceptions, where does it stop? Where does it stop? Where does it stop?
That's their purpose. That's what they want to do. They want to create doubt. They want to say, man, these people are doing what they want to do, and we don't have no type of real integrity going on in government. There's no one there that's really there for the rule of law. Once John Lewis died, who's going to be the person that is
The conscience.
that person there? You know?
Yeah, who's going to be the conscience? Going to be Jim Clyburn? I don't think so. But Jim Clyburn, he was one of the founders of SNCC as well. You know, and he's looked at as the kingmaker. He's in the hierarchy, and he conceded to Nancy Pelosi when they was trying to put him up to be the Speaker of the House. He kind of slid over to be in that leadership over there. But I'm not sure, and I really don't like the way Tim Scott was treated. Tim Scott, the black Republican senator from South Carolina, they did not even, and this is on the part of the Democrats. The Democrats did not even have one meeting with this guy. They never even had one meeting with a senator to say, okay, you got this bill over here in the Senate, our bill over here, our crime reform bill, our George Floyd bill that we got over here in the House goes a lot further than your bill does over here. But your bill does try to hold law enforcement accountable. So why can't we agree in principle? Why can't we start somewhere? Why can't we start with that? Because you can't do anything that Mitch McConnell, the way things are presently configured, you cannot do anything without the support of Mitch McConnell. So if Mitch McConnell gave Tim Scott the go-ahead to do it, which again, I think is similar to what Governor DeSantis is doing with this whole picking Judge Francis when she is not eligible yet. It's the whole thing. He don't matter. He don't care. He get to pick somebody, and he gonna pick somebody that he want anyway. But this is just a way for him to try to get that status in the state of Florida. Let me get them to agree to break the law. Let me get them to see if I can get them to do that, and then I'm gonna do what I want to do later. But let me just get them on board right now with a little bit. Watch that. A little bit of cheese I give you, and watch that. But with Tim Scott, Mitch McConnell, I think, did something similar. Mitch McConnell has no interest in defunding the police, transferring resources from the police, improving, ethnic training for police. He has no interest in any of that. But he does have interest in the appearance. And you got to watch when people come about the appearance. So he's like, okay, Tim Scott, all these people saying you the little token black Republican. You the token black Republican over here in the Senate. So let us show that you really on the team. What do you want to do? He was like, well, I really identify with black men getting stopped. I've been stopped. I come from a working class background. I come from descendants of slaves. I understand what they talking about in the streets, and I want to do something. Instead of the Democrats looking at Tim Scott as a potential ally, as a potential person, if you got to pass legislation, nowadays you need bipartisan support. If you don't have people on both sides, then it's not going anywhere. And then you're just going to have a whole bunch of people saying, oh, I got a great bill that gives millions and billions of dollars to all these other people, but it has no chance of passage. What purpose and what point is that? They had an opportunity to play Mitch McConnell and say, okay, we're going to work with Tim Scott. Yeah. Tim Scott, come up in here and tell me this. Okay, what you're saying is if the police do something, if they brutalize somebody, if they shoot somebody, they're going to go on the registry if they get fired. And that registry, in order to get federal funds, everybody's going to have to subscribe to that registry. So you're not going to be able to kill somebody in South Carolina and then come get a job in Jacksonville, Florida. Because Jacksonville, Florida is going to have to choose out of this database. And if y'all want to get these funds, if y'all want to get these federal funds, then Jacksonville is going to have to make a commitment that they vet their officers through this database. The way it goes right now, an officer go and do something crazy in this jurisdiction and then turn around and just go to another jurisdiction. And they keep their certifications. They keeping their certifications. They getting jobs elsewhere, or they becoming correctional officers, or they're doing other things, but they still have a certification. So why not give Tim Scott the opportunity to go back and say, hey, run back in there like, guess what? They gave me everything that I asked for. And then Mitch McConnell say, man, go sit down. But see, he never got that opportunity because the Democrats already played themselves. They played themselves by not giving the guy the respect of a meeting. And that's why I don't deal with Democrats. I don't deal with Republicans, because they all about staying in power. And even at the expense, like Jim Clyburn going to let Nancy Pelosi and these other people look at Tim Scott like he's some token. Like, yeah, he a token because he doing that. Man, it's politics. It's straight up politics. Now, you got an opportunity to come in there and sit at the table with somebody from your state that identifies with you, that looks up to you, Jim Clyburn. Tim Scott looks up to you, and you're sitting there, and this guy is getting from you. You got an opportunity to instill in Tim Scott what it means to have a backbone and a spine instead of end up being a token. Because when you go back to Mitch McConnell now, and they say, see, Tim, we told you. We told you. We told you these guys, they don't care nothing about what's going on.
And he go full attack on Democrats.
Then he gonna say, okay, I am whatever you say I am.
Yep.
If that's what y'all say I am, that's what it is. Let me get paid. Let me get mine. Let me do what I gotta do. You know what I'm saying? It's just not smart. Throw all of them out. That's what I say. Throw all of them out, man. They in there with this. They just so hypocritical. And we sitting there, and all it is blaming other people all day. I ought to blame them today. You're going to blame me today. And then go to the polls, and then we see what it is. And then half the people done tuned out and checked out. Half the people done checked out, not even voting. So what we end up having is these little oligarchies. That's what we had, these little oligarchies on both sides, man. And I'm tired of it, bro. Personally, I'm tired of it, man. But I'm out.
Now, is it hard
you
for
got that record from my brother? Yes, sir.
Is it hard for them to start a new party? Is it really that hard?
It is extremely difficult. But remember, we did not start out with Democrats and Republicans. We started out with the Tories and the Whigs, and the Whigs ended up becoming the Republicans, and the Tories, they say, ended up becoming the Democrats. And, you've had different efforts, but the one thing about Europe is that multi-party system has taken, and you even have some straight single issue parties that this is all they own, like an environmental party, like that's all they own. So, but what we have in America is what they call a big tent system, and with this big tent system is basically like what ends up working for the Republicans over here, the Democrats are going to end up doing everything that they're doing. It's just like if you go and play in the state championship. When you go play in the state championship in football, you see somebody running an offense you ain't never seen before, right? So you may not be able to deal with it during that game. You may not be able to make those adjustments during that game, but over the summer and then the next time you come back. Just like when the St. Louis Rams back in the day, the greatest show on turf. How long did it take the rest of the league to catch up? And they end up adapting the things. Remember when the Dolphins tried the Wildcat? Now all of a sudden now people have those different packages. So that's what happens with the party system. The Republicans, they come in, they're supposed to be anti-abortion, no deficit, war hawks and whatnot. But you have the Libertarians. They allowed the Libertarians to come in. So the Libertarians like Ron Paul, the Libertarians, well, they basically like, live and let live. Like, we're going to stay off, we want to stay out your business, government stay out our business, right? The Libertarians, they allow them to come in, right? And then you have, supposed to be anti-gay, but then they allow the log cabin Republicans, which are the gay Republicans. They have a seat at the table. And what you end up finding is those single interests or those people that come in with those interests, they end up being worse than everything else because they're like, okay, y'all know that I'm the gay one, So I'm going to be extra hard on these folks. I'm going to be extra hard on the blacks. I'm going to be extra hard. I want to go to war right now. You know what I'm saying? Because they come there trying to overcompensate for what it is. And then at this, you used to have Governor Ridge, who was the governor of Pennsylvania and was the first Homeland Security guy. But he was pro-abortion. But he was, considered an acceptable lifetime Republican. But when it came to abortion, he was pro-choice. Same as it is in the Democratic Party. You have like Joe Biden. If you get with him, Joe Biden is a Catholic. He's a staunch Catholic. He may tell you that, he's really, he accepts a woman's right to choose, but he really wished, in his Catholic beliefs that they wouldn't do that. So it's like the compromises that people end up having to do for their own values. And if you're going to be in politics and get things done, you have to do that. You have to go in and understand that it's not my way or the highway. Otherwise, let it just be a coup d'etat, and your people win, and then you just rule people the way you want to rule them. But when you have a democracy and the people come in and vote, that's why we have the 10 amendments. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution is what protects the individual from the government. The Bill of Rights. That means no matter what these people are doing and who's in power or whatever, my First Amendment, I can say what I want to say. My Second Amendment, I can carry a gun. My Fourth and Fifth Amendment, my Sixth Amendment has to do with my right to remain silent. Is my Fifth Amendment. My Fourth Amendment, meaning, free from unlawful searches and seizures. Like the police can't just go walk in your house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the Fourth Amendment is there to protect you for. And your Sixth Amendment, when you facing trouble, you got to have a right to an attorney. And you got to be told what your rights are. And you can't have cruel and unusual punishment.
But cops, because I know when I was younger, this has happened plenty of times to not just me, but other kids. But when you get not pulled over, but the cops arrest you or whatever, they don't always read you your rights. And you can't, even if you bring it up to the lawyer, there's no reason to go ahead and try to justify that, huh?
What do you mean?
Not your Miranda rights, not written.
So here's the thing about the Miranda rights. The Miranda rights, there are exceptions. The main exception to the Miranda rights is what's called the excited utterance, meaning that when the police walk up to you and you just go to talking, they're allowed to take that down. They're allowed to take down that information. And a lot of times, police officers will say that you said something and it wasn't in a direct response to their question. They have the right not to Mirandize you, but to ask you for your name and identifying information. The police officer, if in a traffic stop, they can ask you for your name, who you are, and your identification. They can ask those two things. Like, you can't just sit there and just don't say nothing. Like, they had a right to get that type of information, but any type of investigation, they must Mirandize you. Now, in the state of Florida...
What about arrest, though? Can they just arrest you without Mirandizing you? Even throughout the time,
yes, they
going
can.
all the way to jail,
They absolutely can Mirandize you, but when they can absolutely not Mirandize you. But if they don't Mirandize you, that means they can't get any information from you. So, so let's say, for instance, you got a warrant for somebody that just shot up a school or something like that. And the people that's going to get them is the jump out boys. The jump out boys don't got nothing to say. Their job is to go and pursue you, lock you up, and take you where you got to go. They don't got to tell you nothing. They just going to get you. The point of the Mirandizing is that they can't use that information against you that you end up giving them. They can't just come in there and have a conversation with you and you think y'all just having a conversation, and they sitting there writing down all the information. Then when you go in there and you get your report, they're like, oh, he told me where it was, he told me where the gun was, he told me this, he told me that, or whatever. They can't do that without Mirandizing, without reading you your rights. They cannot give you any statement, and once you say you do not want to speak to them, you do not want to talk to them, they must be quiet. If you say, I want an attorney, they must stop. They must stop the interview. They must do those things. Those are all things that, are required for the Miranda. So you have to understand that, those first 10 amendments is what's up. And then that 10th amendment, that means that any power not specifically given to the federal government is reserved for the states. That's called the reservation of rights clause. That's when you hear people talking about states' rights, and the overreach by the federal government is, that's embodied in the 10th Amendment. But play this song for my brother,
What was the name
KP.
What was the name of it?
Big fun for my LB celebrating his birthday. KP, Deuce,
Who's the big fun?
inner city. And I'm gonna read some of these comments where we going. My sister, Angela, she says, I was a juror on a drug case, and an older white woman was like, what if he sell drugs later on down the line?
What?
We were like, no way, lady. That's not our job to debate. Crazy racist. So, just saying, like, it's very, very real when you have folks in there. My brother James says, Trump's arrogance made him ignore that this guy wasn't about that BS. Bob Woodward pimped him. Shout out my brother James. Shout out Mathis on his way to law school, my brother. And this dedicated to my LB Deuce, KP, in the circle. We like that house music. What's up, Miss Vicky? You getting on? Well, it's funny, man. When I first went to school, they ain't throw the parties the way we threw them down at the crib. Teddy, we always had the slow jams. You gonna break